Oy vey.
So anyway, I'm working a lot. What's making you laugh?
What's making me laugh? Well, that's a good question. A lot of things, really. I feel like there was something you sent me several voice notes
I
yesterday
did.
that had different moments that really made me laugh. Um, I, I it is feeling like life is a little chaotic at this moment in time, and I don't know anyone who's
Why?
having like why. P.S. The clip of the sped up clip that you said, okay, this is what I'm going to say is making me laugh because I watched it this morning. So, for those a little behind the scenes moment for the 19 is that in episodes where we record and we know that we've said like a name of one of my kids that needs to be bleeped out for foster care reasons or whatever, um, Adriana will listen through, or I will listen through, but usually Adriana will listen through, sometimes on like double speed, to find that moment in the recording. And listening at an altered speed to your own voice is a really funny experience. And depending on what we're talking about and what we're saying, it can be really funny. And so there is this moment of you were already speaking quickly because you were caffeinated and talking about being caffeinated. And you were talking about, coffee. It just makes me feel like, I can do anything, and like it's a lot of that. And then there's a moment where you are laughing and then you get up really close to the camera and do one of these. Okay. And you sent me the sped up clip of that, which that moment it made me laugh in the recording anyway. But the
Right.
sped up clip of it, I almost peed my pants and I watched it at Universal Studios standing in line with one of my children for a Minions themed ride. Ride is a loose word. There's a lot of rides at Universal that are like the 4DX movie
Mm,
experience where you're like sitting in a chair and the chair kind of moves around, or you're like sitting,
okay. Yeah.
like it's less that you're actually moving very many places and they're doing like you have a screen and some kind of like 3D element and like an immersive experience.
Sure.
We waited a fucking hour for that. Anyway, it's fine. He really wanted to go on it, but we watched this clip waiting in line and I thought he was going to pee his pants laughing. And he had me replay it no less than 2 dozen times. We're just watching it over and over, which by the way was a fucking godsend because we were struggling in that line. I'll tell you what, you've met this child, you know how difficult it is for this child to have patience when they're feeling bored. And boy, oh boy.
I relate to this child. That's why I
I mean, it's so interesting to me because on one hand, like I do fully get it as somebody who A is addicted to their devices myself and
right.
also like understands like just like being a kid and being bored and not liking to wait in line.
Totally.
But also simultaneously, I think of like waiting in line together for stuff as like a quintessential part of a theme park experience. Like that's
It
part of what
is, and that is why I absolutely like I get anxiety in my chest, the idea of it.
really. Okay.
Oh, I fucking hate it. I hate it.
Okay,
It's
so we're not
hot.
we're not going to
I
any theme
stand
parks
in
together.
line. I don't ride roller coasters.
Yeah, okay. I can see
As
why it's
per
funny.
the when I told you that I almost shoved myself out of that one when I
Yes, yeah.
panicked at the top. Uh-oh, not a good plan. Um, um, yeah, I am not safe at theme parks, and theme parks aren't safe for me.
Well, you helped us have a safer time in line because my child was occupied. Um,
Great.
with laughing at that video of you. So thank you for that. What a gift.
I mean, one of my favorite things is that uh, I can go if you're with him and you have, and I know you guys are killing time. I love that he and I can go back and forth in videos
Yes.
because he responded with one.
Yes. Yeah. We sent a video response.
And then I sent one back or a voice note or something.
Yes.
Because at this point, like, I mean, he's such a little comedian and or entertainer. He's a very entertaining, like, and maybe
Yeah.
like there's definitely a comedic element, but he's very into entertaining and he he reads a room, he clocks it when something works and when it doesn't. And and so like I feel like he and I have a couple bits at this point. And I've noticed that with other people too, like with Lindsay and stuff, like he's got bits, like he's got things
Yeah.
that he knows makes this person tick. And it's a very emotional, it's a level of emotional intelligence that I find fascinating.
Yes.
And just like spatial awareness, that's very interesting to me. Um, Given that his other thing is like some learning boundaries, for example.
Yeah. Learning that like I think on the same day I had my hair in pigtails, like French braid
You did.
pigtails.
It looks really cute, by the way. Hmm.
Thanks. It's the best option for when I'm
Hmm.
feeling super sweaty.
Hmm.
And he a lot of the time we were in line would just grab my pigtail and hold it in front of his face like this. And at times he would say, "Hey, will you touch my face with your hair?" And I would be like, you're standing next to me, like you can touch my hair if you want. You can, if you want to touch it to your face, you can. And he was like, "No, can you put your hair on my face?"
I just love the people in front of him behind you hearing this.
Oh my
Hey,
God. The
hey,
people
mom. Hey, mom, can you take your hair and touch my face with it, please? That's what these people
today,
heard. And they probably heard it, I'm guessing, how long were you in line? Like 2 hours? I don't know, like 30, 40, 50 times.
that's a very conservative estimate. Um, Today I dropped this same child off at school, and as I was saying bye, I asked if he wanted a hug, and he did. And then he said, "Can I touch your hair?" And I said, "Sure." And he like petted my ponytail. And then I said, do you want to, should we get you like a doll or something? I've asked him this
Mhm.
many times. Should we get you like
Right.
a doll with long hair that you can brush it, you can braid it, you can do whatever you want with it because it's your doll and it's a doll.
Hmm.
And he goes, "No, you're my doll." And I locked eyes with the teacher doing sign in, who we see every day and who's one of his favorites. And I said, "I'm not a doll, I'm a person. I love you. Have a great day."
Oh
So,
my God. You know
yeah.
what's great though? It's great that he just said that so you could directly address it. Because what's really sad is that when you said that, I thought there's so many straight women that I feel like need to say that exact thing to their cis male partners. I'm not a doll. I'm a person. Have a good day. Bye. I love you.
Oh, yeah. It's
Hmm.
yeah. So anyway, oh, and last thing, but same child, my comedian child. As we were walking down the street, we're of course listening to birds. We're of course using the Merlin app. Shout out Merlin, sponsor us. Um, I'll continue to shout you out anyway. You're not a for-profit entity. Um, we were using the app to like identify which birds we were hearing, whatever. He was guessing based on like hearing only, and then we would use the app
Sure.
to confirm he was correct, which 100% accuracy the whole walk to school, which was
This doesn't, I'm telling you.
pretty incredible.
Hmm.
But as we're walking, he asks me, he's doing like he can do sparrow sounds, he can do dove sounds are his favorite, but he asked me if I could whistle like a cardinal song. And so I tried, and he's like encouraging me. I'm like, "No, no, no, like I don't want to." He's like, "Come on, mommy AJ." And so I did it, and he goes, "Oh, so you're making fun of the birds now?" And I was like, "What? You just encouraged me to do this. What do you mean?" He was like, "So you think you get to make fun of the birds?" And then he goes, "Oh, birds." And he goes, "Mommy AJ's making fun of you. Yes, even you, starlings. Love ya."
That's amazing.
Like, anyway,
How did you
so
respond to being called out for your birdism?
it's so tricky with this kid because he, I mean, okay, yeah, like the silly answer is like I first was like, what are you talking about? Like you told me to do it. I'm not making fun of the birds. And then he just kind of kept going and I just kind of like smiled and we like walked and I sort of
Yeah,
ignored it. The hard thing is like you have to be careful how much affirmation or encouragement you give to any joke because if you
totally.
give too much, he will
Mm-hmm.
hammer it until it's
Mm-hmm.
so not funny. And then he'll get really upset when it's not funny anymore.
Oh my
So it's
God. Just like a cis white male comedian, by the fucking
wow.
way. That's exactly how they behave. They drill that
I
shit into the
mean,
ground, and when you don't laugh, they're like, "What? You guys, you guys don't get it? What, you guys don't get it? No, bitch, we totally get it. We are done with you."
and this is the thing. This is if my boy children continue to be boys and men
Yeah,
and want to exist in the world, I've said this before, I'll say it till the day I die. I want to raise particularly men, but also obviously adults for all of my kids who have the self awareness to exist in the world in a way that is actively nourishing and minimally harmful to other people. And that includes cultivating the self awareness of, like, for my older boy child, for example, I will say, hey, like, I get why he'll tell me jokes all the time that are like about testicles.
yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah,
I really see why that's funny to you. Like, I get the joke. And
yeah,
also, when you make jokes to me about genitals, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
yeah.
And this is so it's not that your joke's not funny. It's not that I think it's bad that you think it's funny. It is you need to work on knowing your audience. That's it.
I mean, you had to say the same thing to me yesterday when I kept making dick jokes. Let's be real.
Adriana, I know that for your sense of humor, this feels really funny, but for me, it does make me a little uncomfortable. That's hilarious because you were the one who was like, oh, it wasn't even funny. And meanwhile, I'm like crying laughing.
I truly was like, "You're being a little forced with your dick jokes today, Adriana," but you know, I was feeling self-conscious that I had been such a sad sack in all of our voice notes for a while that I was like, you know what? Let me try. And then it honestly did help to just like try. And then I was able to shift gears. Meanwhile, I'm picturing my voice note to you that day because I was walking around the park. So I was at the, excuse me, this park has a short end. It's a perfect rectangle. Short ends are on the east, or I'm sorry, the west and the east. And then the north and south are long.
Okay.
So I forced that joke on the west short side. I was halfway down the long side by the time I was now crying in the voice note. So for everyone at home, that's how this goes. By the end of that other half is where I found the Jesus books and was back into joke telling mode. But
Where you found the Jesus books and then suddenly you had hope and renewed faith in the Lord and the world.
well, obviously my purpose was made clear, you
Exactly.
know.
Thank
Um,
God. Thank God for
what was
that,
the
literally.
what was the name of the one that there was? I told you there was. I read the back of it too, and there's like 20 of them in there. So it said something
Something about the
like,
Ten Commandments.
"Oh yeah, the Ten Commandments," and like them being. It's like it was some like really dramatic title about them being removed from public spaces and how terrible that is. Anyway, in this book is a generous term. It's like a pamphlet. Okay, it was like teeny tiny. The cover of it had one of those like whoa like kind of tags on the front. It's usually like New York Times bestseller or whatever. Instead, it said 500,000 copies printed in small print under not sold printed and like
Printed.
20 of them were in this.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
so that's how many we need to track down and get rid of because it's hella propaganda and terrifying. But
20
mhm.
down.
20 down. Yeah, I should have taken them all. And then, but the other thing that was in there was like somebody was either like trying to spread the word or was like done with Jesus. I'm not sure which, but like that thing was full of Jesus shit. There were these books. I sent AJ the cover image of one, and it literally looked like an 80s drawing of like like college age people like chilling on the quad, you know? And and like they all looked particularly like conventionally hot. And Aryan, of course, by the way, all Aryan, because this is the kind of Jesus book that isn't gonna let you know any ethnic truth about Jesus.
No, no,
Um,
no.
so Jesus had long hair, blue eyes, and like his shirt's like partway unbuttoned with pecs, like
Well,
drawn.
obviously.
And I was like, this is like a smut situation almost. But it was something about like, oh, you know what? It was literally, was it? Because it was something like pleasure. It was titled something like pleasure. This is gonna drive me
Hold
crazy.
up.
I'm gonna pull it up. Yeah,
I was gonna say we're gonna go
we
look
can.
at this
We
now.
have a solution to this.
It
Yesterday
is
was a big
possible.
desire of ages. He taught love. Okay, you can't see his pecs. I made that part up. Okay, fine. But
I
you
love
can
that that's
you
how it exists that way in your imagination.
it's like it's just like I mean, look everyone. Is this
Desire of
is
ages.
this not a threesome waiting to happen? Um just picking flowers and chatting with JC. I think I got the pecs because he's sitting cash with his leg up like this. You know, it's very, very like we should be seeing more of this.
Sure. If you could redesign the cover, it would be showing his pecs. I get
It's
it.
like it's very thirst trappy. I'll say that. Um anyway.
It's okay to just admit that you have the hots for Jesus. It's okay to say that. This is a safe space.
It's you know, Jesus has a bit too much of a leading man aesthetic, and you know that's not my vibe. So
It's not?
weird. You know
What?
what what's making me laugh is I was taking a walk the other day and a memory popped in from when you were last here. And I think we were at the Garfield Park Conservatory and I was saying something like I was like I just love I was like I'm not girly but I like love girly. Like I love like women like futzing with their hair like whatever and you had literally just been doing your hair and you whipped around and were like, "Are you gay?" And I just thought of it the other day, which was really funny.
Oh, that sounds like me. Yeah, that sounds right. Are you gay? I hope not.
No, straight as an arrow, straight as an arrow. Just trying to get that JC bod, you know.
Working on your JC bod.
Just wanna
That's
just wanna touch it. I
listen,
told
I
you
would
that I took my nieces to the Art Institute, right?
yes, yes,
Did
you
I tell
did.
you about the oldest one responding to nudes and that there was
I'm vaguely remembering like some discomfort
yeah,
around the
definitely
nude.
like and look, in the modern wing uh there's a collection that I'll be honest, I'm a little like unclear why it's even like uh it's like I forget what his name is, but he's a famous photographer. But these are literal just like Playboy style photos, and they are
Oh,
huge on the wall.
oh,
And so
huh.
I did. I'm a little like, why the fuck is that here? Because it's like it's a brand of objectification that I'm like, are we like, help me understand
Sure.
why this is significant.
Sure.
Um, it's literally like nude, like very thin, blonde, oiled, hairless women splayed around motorcycles and shit. Like it's very strange. It's literally like smut, you know? And anyway, now I knew which room that was in, so I did not take her in there. But there was one there's a Warhol that's a nude and it's literally just someone sitting and like but you can see her tits.
Mm.
And I was like um uh I mean maybe the commentary, sorry, is that like all of the nudes on paintings are women, all of the nudes and statues are men, which is
Mm-hmm.
fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like maybe the commentary is just like you're staring at a bunch of naked women. These were that is what that was for. Like it was for the male gaze the whole time, even the artsy ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's for.
Mm.
And so maybe it's just like this is actually what you're looking at when you think you're looking at something artistic. It's a male photographer. I'm giving him a lot of credit here. I don't know. I'm
Mm,
just
sure.
trying. I'm trying. Um,
I'm
but
trying.
anyway, I didn't. So she sees um the nudes and she's like, and she doesn't say anything, but I can just see her going and just staring blankly at these. And I was like, so you're gonna see a lot of nudity today. And I was like, it's okay that that seems weird, or if it makes you feel weird,
Yeah.
it's totally okay. Um, and I was like, but it really is okay that there is nudity. When she's older, we'll
Yeah.
have a conversation about the sexism of it all. But um, I we got to a different room and we were walking by, and it was like a I forget what the movement is right before Impressionism, but anyway, and it's a lot of like nudes, and she was just like, oh, and covered her face, and I was like, so you don't have to be like ashamed. I was like I said, it's okay that it feels weird, but you don't have to be ashamed or afraid of it. Like it's okay that
Yeah.
it's like I was like, we all have naked bodies. It's okay.
Yeah.
Um, but then we passed a we passed a million depictions of the crucifixion.
The crucifixion.
Um, and what crucifying, I guess, of
Crucifixion.
the crucifixion
Crucifixion.
of
Right?
oh yeah, yeah, that is it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of like my own terms for this, like re-erection and crucifixion. Crucifixion has more syllables. It's more fun to say.
That's fair.
Um,
That's fair.
anyway, but some particularly brutal, depictions of this. And then there was one that was like a three-dimensional art piece hanging on the wall. And it
Okay.
was like very realistic to their credit. Um,
Uh-oh.
and she's just staring up at it. And I said, what are you thinking? And she was like, I'm thinking about how, he was trying to, or he was trying to save us. And I said, well, that's one interpretation for sure. And then we kept moving. So I was like, I don't know. We haven't talked about the fact that I'm an atheist and frankly that you're a Quaker, so this should all be very chill for you and not so like maybe I should take her to a friends meeting up here where they
Oh,
literally just sit in silence.
listen. I love the like, well, that's one interpretation.
I was like, I'm not going to shut her down. She can believe whatever she wants, but she doesn't, she's a kid. She doesn't really believe anything. And so I was just like, yeah, I don't know what to say other than that's not the only version of that story.
Yeah. I mean, we do a lot of that, as you can imagine, in my house too, where like my kids also all have their own different like experiences and feelings about God and religion and all of that. And
Mm,
so they'll ask me questions, and often I'm like, Mommy Laura would be a better person to talk to about this than me.
that's a
Um,
good point. Yeah.
but I often am like, yeah, different, different people have different ideas about that and what that means. The end.
Yep. 100%.
And then, God forbid, they're like, what does it mean to you?
I
Well,
feel like, I mean, religious parents have no issue just saying, like, this is what I think. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like it doesn't have to be, I feel like it's a very Judeo-Christian and really dominantly Christian issue. The like,
yeah,
the tension around this. Because I feel like, and I don't mean people who are actively Christian, I mean those of us who are raised in Christian cultures.
yeah,
This is a much tougher, because like in certain brands anyway of Judaism, like it's literally encouraged to question what you're thinking and feeling and believing. And in other religions, it's like you're just born into it in a cultured way that like it's like a part of your life in an
yeah.
active way. Um, but I feel like those of us raised in like the Christian world really like our assholes are clenched all the fucking time about religion for some reason.
Yeah. It's also, I think for all of our kids, and one of them in particular, they have come to us with a lot of intense, kind of like different belief systems of adults that they have lived with.
Mm-hmm,
And so there's
mm-hmm.
also the element of like, sorry, I see a bird I don't recognize. Oh, I think it's just a sparrow. Not just a sparrow. That's not nice. But it's not a new to me bird. Yeah, no, that's a house sparrow. Um, yeah, I think there's the element of like, oh, I'm about to be another adult with a different
Sure,
belief system, which I know is a good
sure.
thing. Like that's
Yeah, but
and the fact anytime they're asking questions, that's also a good thing. The curiosity is a good thing. And I want to, I do always try to give the most honest answer to anything, but there's a lot of like, but what's real? What's
right,
true? What does happen after you die? Well, no one knows. And if
exactly.
they tell you that they know,
Yeah.
they don't because they're
They simply
alive.
don't because they're alive.
You
And then
know?
they say, "What if a dead person tells me?" That's a reliable source, kid.
Well, that's for the youngest especially who does communicate with the beyond, then it's like, well, then you're a witch.
Exactly.
And
You
that's
are you are a seer, my dear. You are a
exactly,
seer.
exactly.
Um, sorry, I'm researching really quick this. I believe the little yellow birds that flit around the park are they look like one of two things. A warbler, there's several varieties, but they all look pretty much the same. Um, so I think it's either a warbler or yellow-throated viero,
Oh, I've never heard of that
but
one.
they look similar to these little warblers. But they are like this big. They're tiny little
Itty
guys
bitties, they're so
darting
cute.
around. Yeah. And I don't have a good phone for this, but the um I tried to take a video. What the video I sent you yesterday was a couple of them bopping around that tree, but I don't have a good zoom on my phone. But yeah, I would say it's either one of these little warblers or um oh my God, look at this little guy.
Oh,
My cutie.
cutie.
Um
Love it.
yeah. Um I do have a question for you, by the way.
Oh my God, please.
Okay. Um what is something that you are good at that you wish people knew
Ooh, what a great question.
or would like acknowledge? Yeah, either or.
Okay. So a real thought that just occurred to me
Yeah,
was I feel like I get a lot of acknowledgement for the things that I'm good at.
fair.
So
Dig deep.
that, I guess that's nice. That's not a problem.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Something that I'm good at. Hmm.
I mean, I don't have an answer prepared to be clear. So
Oh, you
this is
don't?
not
Okay.
something, no, not at all.
I mean, I guess like I think about more like because I think the like that I wish people knew or would acknowledge part is tripping me up. But I think like maybe the if I think about it, like yeah, a thing that I'm good at that people mostly don't know or don't see. Uh, this is tough. I'm not having anything like immediately come to well, mm, I think well, here's one that I'm like is very fraught because of all the which you'll know exactly why as soon as I say it. I'm a good singer. I'm a pretty talented singer. Um, yeah, I was in choir like formally from the time I was 7 up through high school and a little bit into college, but stopped um like being a trained vocalist in college. But I was, had some kind of like vocal training constantly for like over a decade. Um, and yeah, just really enjoy singing. Brings me a lot of joy, and I have a pretty nice voice. I thought about, as with many of my friends who went to school for like vocal performance or music performance or something, I briefly considered it, but ultimately decided that my desire to be a therapist was more powerful than my desire to be a performer. So,
Interesting.
yeah. Um, I'm having a lot of feelings about being able to sing and not because of all of my drama with my voice for the last 6 months or so. Um, because that's been a thing that I've not been able to access. And realize I so have taken it for granted as a thing that I just like casually do.
Enter. Yeah, yeah,
Um, because I like really haven't been able to. There were a couple good weeks before I got sick again this most recent time that
yeah.
I could like sing a lot of things. And it was like, wow, okay, this is really it's also a nice like mental health kind of practice.
Totally.
Um, yeah,
Interesting. Would you, uh, once you get your voice back to where you want it, would you sing on a stage again?
maybe. I haven't sung on a stage. Well, no, that's not true. The last time I sung on a stage would have been 2020. I did
Mm,
do, so I'm realizing I did do when Laura and I moved here and when we were part of a church and then when we
mm,
started a church, I sang often as like part of that. So I sang we went to a church that had like a band, like a worship band on like on a stage. So I
Mm,
sang in the with the band sometimes, and Laura and I like would record things together that we would like play when we were doing like pandemic virtual church.
yeah.
Um, but the last time I was actually physically on a stage was the beginning of 2020.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
So I might, yeah.
yeah. I mean, you've talked about potentially doing stand up, and there's a increasingly large market for musical comedy. There's a really great comedian, I'm not gonna remember his name, uh who was in the queer comedy festival with me in 2024. And he was great. He was hilarious. And yeah, had just like a couple songs that he would do that were just really fucking funny. And yeah, there's something smart and funny about that for sure.
Yeah.
Dimitri Martin used to do a little musical. He didn't sing very much, but he incorporated instruments in his early years of comedy. I haven't paid attention to his current stuff, but
Mm.
yeah, it's just a fun element. I mean, Zach Galifianakis is one of my Live at the Purple Onion is one of the greatest stand-up specials of all time. I will like die on that hill all day. He's also just one of the best comedians I think out there, and he used to play piano the whole time that he did his stand-up. Not the whole time. He would also walk around and then fall on the floor and stuff, but like when he would also go on late night shows, he would dominantly be playing the piano while he performed, which was really like it's very funny, but it also is like I wish that I had something like that sometimes when I'm doing because I think I would be funnier if I
Yeah.
could like a stimming activity basically while performing. Yeah.
Have you thought about juggling on stage or
I mean, yeah, there's just a lot that can like get out of hand with that or is like it's very distracting in a
sure.
way that like just sitting at a piano and playing and talking is like the piano's not moving,
Sure.
um and I mean most recently I was really working on trying to like keep the mic in the stand and just stand there because when I started I was just like running laps on that fucking stage the whole time. And a very sweet and smart person was like, maybe try just like anchoring yourself a little bit. Which makes sense because I'm like young in this, I'm
Yeah.
green.
Yeah.
Like Maria Bamford can run all over the stage because she's been doing this for 20, 30 years. And, you know, but anyway, I I love the idea of you doing musical comedy. It would also be very funny if you did it with Laura. I could
Yes,
see
it would.
Laura just being your your straight man, so to speak, you know?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
she and I have talked about, I mean, I think there is a very real possibility that she and I, oh, that's a starling. Sorry. I have another fun thing for the 19 is that I have, and I may speak more about this later, but I have installed bird feeders onto my windows and I'm in a new space, which by the way,
Oh yeah.
it is messed up a little bit that you haven't like commented on how nice my background looks. I did try to make it look really nice for you and you don't even care.
You know what's really fucked up is that I did before we started recording. Oh my God, look at your new space. That's so exciting. Do you love it? How dare you try to drag me in front of the 19? Is this how we're
You did
starting our
it.
next year together? Is this how we're starting year two?
It is. It is. It is because you know what? You did acknowledge it. You're right. you did acknowledge it and you said, "Oh, look at your new space." But that was it. We didn't talk about any details. We
I said,
didn't.
"Don't you love it? Oh my God." And then you said, it's so much better than and I love it so much. And I was like, "That's awesome." And you've got the bird feeder right there. I will comment on the fact that with your blurred background, what I can make out is that there's clearly a beautiful piece of art back there. Loving that. And also, I really do love the aesthetic of whatever is hanging on the door.
Oh, that's just my outfit for an event that I'm going to next week.
You
It's,
flipped your hair literally when you said that.
it's, it's a satin, it's called a play suit is the name
A
of it.
play suit.
The play suit, but it's like it's satin and it's a button down oversized button down shirt with like a collar and oversized
Cute.
pants in the same pattern.
Cute.
Uh-huh. And I'm gonna wear it with
Aw.
red Converse.
Oh yeah, you need to show. This was the outfit you talked about, and you were like, "Have I shown you this?" You have not. So I'm getting to see a blurred version right now, but I look forward to seeing the real version with red Converse. It's so fun.
I'm
Also,
excited about
yeah,
it.
I'm excited that in the year that I have known you, the year of our Lord, uh, 2025 to 2026, um, I I've never seen you wear like fun sneakers.
I
I'm
won't
very
tell my
excited about it.
sneakers that you said that.
I'm very excited that like, because I just switched to my like good for me sneakers that are athletic oriented. And that's what you wear often, or at least when I've been around you. And um and I am a little like I miss my just like fun sneakers that aren't functional really for like
Mm,
myriad walking trips and things like that. Um due to my old feet, uh but I like the aesthetic of them more. Like my PF
that's fair.
Flyers and stuff like that. And yes, Chucks are a part of that equation as well. That's all to say, I'm just very excited to see you wear Chucks.
I'm excited too. I am gonna have to put my orthotics in them still
100%.
to
A
not have
hundred percent.
a terrible um, day of foot pain following this event. But
Yeah, I mean
stay
Chucks are
tuned
the
for
worst of
more.
all.
The
Yeah.
next time we record, I will have had that event the evening before. So stay tuned
Aw.
for more. But before that, what is a thing? Have you thought yet of your thing that you're good at that you wish people knew or acknowledged or that people don't know?
I think not really. I can name I'm the way I'm doing this is I'm sourcing when are the moments that I feel like I would like someone to acknowledge something and what was it that I wanted that I was like, oh man, I wish they would have said this. Like
Okay.
you just did.
Yep.
You literally just did that.
Yep.
You wanted acknowledgement for your new setup and it looking amazing and your new background that you made pretty with the stack of books I see also. It is blurred, but I do see the stack of books looking lovely up there as well. Um,
I'm like, do I need to let me unblur my background here? Oh no, you know what's funny? Is my background is blurred, but it gives me an option to blur my background further. Let's see what that does.
whoa.
Oh, no, I hate it. I hate it.
Ah,
Turn that off. Fuck that. Okay. Hold on.
no, I hate it.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. It's so funny. Yeah, it's not considering this to be a blur. But how? Because it's totally
It
blurred.
clearly is, yeah. It's funny because through your curls, I can see snippets of non-blurred, what is
I
it,
know
fun
of the
suit?
pattern of that. That's hilarious. But yeah, no, it says this is blur, allegedly. This is unblurred, but
Uh,
it's blurred.
it
Whatever,
is
it doesn't matter. We'll get to see that pattern eventually. Keep telling me.
maybe
Sorry.
what you need to do is send a cute selfie from your new desk with the background, and we can put that at the end of this episode. What do you
Great
think?
idea. Great idea. We'll be doing that.
Because you're having an excellent hair day as well, and like the outfit's cute that you're wearing right now. So like you've got the whole look. You might as well like capitalize. There you go.
Thanks for hearing that I was feeling like I wasn't getting enough attention from you and for then in response turning up the volume on the affirmation and the encouragement. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
I really did notice the outfit and the hair when we first got on, but we instantly dove into like life shit.
Sure.
And I was like, you know, um, okay. I would say, interestingly, space is one that I'm like, I put a lot of time and energy into the way that I set up space.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is I really appreciate when someone acknowledges it. I don't like a false one. Like I don't like it being like there are definitely people who come in and are uh like manic pixie dream girling my space and they're like, oh my gosh, I wish it's like the shaved head, I wish I could like this is just so weird and fun and cool and eclectic and like and I'm like, you can hang things on your wall and
Uh-huh.
like you can collect random shit like I do and hang it on your wall, like
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want. um but like, and also, when my space is not set up well, and someone's like, "Oh, it looks really good in here," I'm like, "It actually doesn't." And now I'm like wondering about your judgment, you know? And so
Yeah.
like, it's not
You're
that I
you're either lying to me or you're a fucking idiot.
exactly, exactly.
And
And either
either one
way,
sucks. Yep.
and I don't trust you anymore.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and so, but like, I'm thinking about there was this one time that my friend, um, back in Nashville came over and it was the first time that like he and I were close friends for many years, but we just didn't really hang out at each other's places very often.
Mhm.
Because we worked together, so it was like we worked all day together. We would hang out maybe at a bar or something, and then it was like we don't
Yeah.
really need to keep
Yeah.
doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At some point, we have to go home.
Yeah.
Um, but I remember when he the first time he came to my apartment, and he literally walked around and looked at all of my art, and like and was like comment like was asking me about certain like who is this and like who did this and did it, like, and I was just like, I remember just feeling like so seen because it's like I do have a lot of shit on my walls and it's all pretty intentionally picked.
Yep.
And also, by the way, there's two boxes full of wall art that aren't up. And it like I want all of it, but I am trying to be intentional to some extent. So yeah, I would say that is definitely a moment when I feel really seen. Also, um, and very similarly, like I'm not looking for validation from everyone.
Yep.
And there's some people I particularly don't really want it. And I'm like, oh man, I'm not where I want to be if this person's into it. And um,
Yep.
like, so like with
Yep.
hair, I'm like, the right people complimenting my hair is makes me feel very seen.
Yep.
Like Ed, I remember when Ed and I were talking about like anywhere from shaved to like this kind of length, and he was just like, "Well, it suits you," and like he can't lie. Like I like
Mm.
he can't lie like that. So like he
Yeah.
simply wouldn't have said it if he didn't
Yeah.
think it, and he has really good aesthetic instincts. And I was like, "Huh, I believe you," and
Yeah.
I feel like that was validating.
Yeah.
Um, is your window open? Is that why your hair is billowing?
No, I have a fan.
Mm,
It's fucking hot here.
yeah, I know, same.
So yeah, no, I've got the fan going on me right now. So since I'm having a Beyonce hair moment here, I could angle it
And really get some.
even more maximum.
I was gonna say, I feel like the thing with you is that you have very thick, luxurious hair that they would have to put like a real, for like that photo shoot, they would need like a real big fan
A
to get your
proper
hair to
fan.
move. Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also getting my father's hair texture is starting to happen for me, which is to say both of my parents have thick hair. My
Okay,
dad has like two humans worth of hair on his head. Like his hair is also just it's very
dense.
the hair itself is
Yeah,
the strands are thicker and it's more dense.
yeah.
Um and his hair, he as long as I can remember, he's had like salt and pepper hair. And I'm
Huh.
getting like more and more silver. And of course, like that hair is a different texture too.
Sure.
So my hair is ever changing and the texture is changing right along with it. It's a real thrill getting
I
older.
had back when I had people cutting my hair, they used to, I would always say like they had to thin it, and they were always like, no, 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 we're not thinning your hair. We're taking weight out because it's too much technically. Oh no, you're frozen.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
No,
uh,
really?
you're a little pixelated.
It's my it says my internet connection is unstable.
Me too. I think I've
It's
made
okay,
that
internet
joke before.
connection.
I think I've made that joke on here before. So sorry, 19.
We can't make jokes multiple times. You're gonna have to cut that out in post.
I'm just sloppy with this old material. Um,
Um, You I see, because well, when you said thinning of hair, I remember growing up, my hair was a big point of contention between my mother and my grandmother.
mm,
My grandmother, my mom's mom was who would take care of me during the day. I wasn't in daycare. I didn't go anywhere until preschool. And so while
mm,
my mom was working, or while both of my parents were working, I would be with my grandma. And my grandma had a very sort of like prim and proper approach to appearance. She wanted my hair to look very neat. She wanted me to look
yeah,
very like put together. And so when she would talk to my mom about haircuts, she would tell my mom they need to thin it out. And then she would also tell me, you need your hair thinned. And she would tell me that like long into my like older
of
childhood.
course.
And my mom would be like, "We're not gonna do that." Like if, and she would say to me like, are you concerned about the
Right.
thickness or the weight of your hair?" And I of course wasn't. I was when I was a kid, I had like Shirley Temple curls.
Yes, you did. Oh,
Um Very, very cute. But my grandma, when I was with my mom, she just let it sort of be like free
yeah,
you
wild.
know, but my grandma I have distinct memories of her brushing through it while dry and curly and like it hurt terribly.
Yes.
But if I would cry while she was doing it, or if I would like move away, she would smack me on the head with the hairbrush. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so her relationship to my hair and my mother's relationship to my hair, pay no mind to my own relationship to my hair, which I didn't really have one at that point in time yet, I guess. But they butted heads about this a lot. And the getting it thinned was often
Yeah,
put out there as a proposition, but then my mom was like, "No, like you could get layers if you want to get like."
right. Well, that's what they were like. No, we're not thinning your hair. We're removing weight
Yeah.
because every short haircut is just a myriad of layers.
Yeah.
So when you get like the bob or like a pixie cut or anything like that, you can see it on people if it lays smooth, it's because layers have been put in.
Yeah.
And those layers are harder to do if you have to like use basically the like razor thing
Yeah.
to like do that number through it. Um, I mean, there most people that have ever cut my hair like use just a razor like 90% of the time because
Mm.
it's just again, otherwise it truly does become like an Amish boy. That's the best description. It's just like boop. Um,
I think you should try that look.
well, there is a picture of me like the Dorothy Hamill kind of aesthetic,
Cute.
which that haircut came from my prim and proper grandmother, where it was like there are bangs, and then the haircut just like goes all like follows the bangs around. And it's just like it's like a bowl cut, but the bowl was tilted this way because I'm a girl, so it had to go longer, right? You know,
That's right. Because
because
I'm a
I'm a
girl.
girl.
Right. Right, 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 right.
Um, yeah.
I
So, mhm,
This is making me think about you just describing that as making me think of a particularly tragic haircut of mine that I'm sure I've shown this to you. I don't know if I've shown it on the pod, but
I'm
I'm
so
about to show
excited.
it. Um, Now, mind you, okay, here's a good example of like this is me probably I think this is preschool.
Oh my God, I haven't seen
Okay.
this picture.
So yeah, this is preschool. This is a hair, this is hair I love. This is my natural hair when I was this
Oh
age.
my God,
Also,
I'm
look how
obsessed.
like blonde it is.
It
It's
you
like
literally have strawberry blonde hair.
it's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah,
Which is
hmm
funny because like this is what color it is now. This is how it grows out of my head. I haven't
yeah,
colored it in years, but whatever.
yeah,
So there's that.
totally.
Now fast forward to I bet you this is I don't know, third or fourth grade. This is when I started experimenting with wanting my hair to be straight because it felt longer when it was straight, and it
Sure.
was longer when it was straight. But I had a haircut that was cut to be worn curly
Oh
and to
my God,
be
I'm so
like a
excited.
short curly haircut. You have to have seen this picture before. Maybe you haven't. Are you ready?
Oh, I did see. Oh my God. Yep.
Look at her.
Yep.
Also, look at that
Also,
shirt. I
what was
know my
it
mom
like
got
this?
that shirt from Kohl's.
Dude, I think I had that shirt. I'm not
I'm
even
sure.
joking.
I'm sure.
I that shirt is so familiar. So, okay, first of all, you and I have basically the same color of hair, and I think we had the same hair color journey because when I was a kid, my
Yes.
hair was also that strawberry blonde.
Yes.
There's a picture of me that it's like it looks very blonde, and I'm
Yeah.
like you could tell it was a summertime, like it would just like react to the sun and turn blonder. And I weirdly, because my sister had like black hair our whole lives, I always thought that I had very light hair.
Yeah.
And that's like burned into me now that I'm like, my hair's really light. And then when I cut it and I look down, I'm like, oh my God, this is really dark hair. Like that's when I notice it when it's laying on the floor and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, that's really dark. And it is darker toward the roots than toward the end, certainly for me a little bit. But I'm also getting more grays. And literally the last 2 weeks have been an interesting situation, and literally I got grays. Like
Yep.
it is that uncanny that I was like looking in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, there's like four of them right here. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
You and me both. We're on a journey, an aging journey.
It's it is fat. I remember thinking about this during COVID because um it did like it was like gas pedal for aging.
Yo, yeah.
And and then and some of that was real and some of it was also like it was fast. You can the numbers are out there on this, but I remember looking this up because all of a sudden I noticed that everyone was like getting more like Botox and like looking for like retinol started coming out more boldly and things like that. And I was like, oh, it's because we're all staring at our own faces all day on Zoom
Yep.
and we're not liking what we're seeing.
Yep.
Um, People started asking me what my skincare routine was because apparently mine was okay. And I was like, and I did it too. I like there were definitely things where I was like, oh, I didn't know I looked like this all day. You know, like I'm
Yeah.
not used to staring at myself. Um, but and thankfully Zoom at some point created the like close your own because I
Hide
for
your
the
own
longest
face.
time, yeah, for the longest time I had to post it on my computer over my face because as a
Mm.
facilitator, I cannot be distracted like that. That's insane to be like staring at this corner the whole time that I'm trying to facilitate.
Mm.
Um, but but yes, it is fascinating how stress really does age you faster. and like you can watch it happen.
Sure does.
And yeah, and COVID was a really lovely example of that.
Was that a stressful time for people, do you think? Or
I mean, it wasn't for me, but I guess maybe for some it was.
yeah, it didn't really it feels like I didn't really notice it was going on, you know? Didn't change day-to-day life for like everyone or anything.
I had to talk about it recently somewhere, and um, I was advising someone on a presentation they had to give about it, and and it is weird to me that like we don't talk about it very often.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not in the dominant culture anymore,
Mm-mm.
and it's like oh casual, like millions of people dead,
Yeah. A huge
just
major
whatever.
collective grief,
Yeah,
tragic, traumatic.
yeah,
Yep.
like global, like in a way that hasn't really ever happened because even like Spanish flu and stuff, like everyone compared it to that. And I'm like, yeah, but that was isolated because we weren't a global society yet. So like this was fully global. And um yeah, it is fascinating to me that it's not like and I understand that we have other fish to fry at this point. I get that. But I'm there's always part of me that's like we have to get better at doing more than one thing at a time. Like as a collective, and then as individuals I think we have to get better at doing one thing at a time. Like I feel like
Uh,
there's like we're doing the inverse of that where individuals are doing 20 things at a time and collectively we can only focus on one thing at a time. Like right now everyone's focused on Iran, which is definitely important, and it is doing the thing it's supposed to be doing because now we're not talking about Epstein, we're not talking about like Gaza and Palestine. I mean, some of us are, but and you know, we're not talking about ICE who is still doing their thing, just
yeah.
a little more coded. Um, and frankly, we're not even talking about our shitty economy. The fact that like I was saying, who was I talking to yesterday? And I was like, our economy is so shitty that I feel like if we went back to 2024 inflation, people would be like, oh, things are better. And
Yep,
it's like
absolutely.
we are lowering our standards by the second.
Yep.
And yeah, so anyway, good times. Everything's good. And I'm like, why are we aging? I love that you started doing facial massages while we started talking
It.
about this.
Some of it's also like, okay, it's vagus nerve massage. Let's
Sure. Yeah.
activate
Yeah.
that parasympathetic nervous system. Um, I have been thinking more about my jaw since you asked
Yeah.
me about my jaw. My voice therapist also has me doing a lot of stuff with my jaw.
Wait, can you tell me a little bit? So we haven't gotten into the deets of what
What
voice
voice
therapy
therapy
is. Yeah.
entails.
Yeah.
Okay. So for
Tell
the
the people.
19, let me fill you in just a little bit on the context, which is that back in October, had an upper respiratory illness, lost my voice. My voice was gone for like a long time, way beyond when I was sick. Um, and has been kind of like touch and go since then. I had a period where it was a little bit better, but then a few weeks ago got sick again, and now it sounds pretty froggy again. Um, but in February, I saw an ear, nose, and throat doctor who said that I have muscle dystonia in my like throat and vocal muscles, likely from being sick and clearing my throat a lot. And then there's just like the muscles just get tense and need to relax. And so she referred me to voice therapy. I started with a voice therapist who is a speech language pathologist. This is like a subset of speech therapy,
Mm-hmm.
and where we just focus mostly on stuff related to the voice. And
Mm-hmm.
really, most of our session is breath work and her helping me with like making sure when I'm doing breath work that I'm like breathing into the right places of my body, that I'm like managing like breath control. And then so much of it is just that like I just have way too much tension happening here, and it's constricting my voice and making me hoarse and stopping my, ability for my voice to work properly. My voice box is just like this. Um, so it's a lot of like guided breath work, but it's also like stretching and
What kind of
like
stretching?
muscle relaxation. Oh, like rolling shoulders in
Okay.
either direction, or like,
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
that kind of stuff. Um, there's one she has me do that she calls a bobblehead, but it's you
Mm,
basically make small circles with your
yeah,
nose, and then you do like a larger and larger
yeah.
circle. Which also was really good for me this week because I mysteriously pulled or did something to strain. I think it's my trapezius muscle
Uh-huh.
on this side, and have been having pain and tension. And so that it was also very
Uh,
helpful for that. So yeah, I the thesis is I need to fucking relax.
yeah, that's always the answer. And I'm like, great.
Yeah, great, thanks. Although with invoice therapy, I'm happy because she is very much like, here are exercises. Here are things we can
Hmm.
try and we can do together. Let me watch you do this and give you feedback on like how
I
you
love
could
that.
make it more effective. Um, Also there's like vocal hygiene and like throat health stuff. Like she's like in an ideal world, and thankfully she's lovely and sweet. I love her.
Sure.
But she's like in an ideal world, you wouldn't have caffeine, you wouldn't have
Mm,
alcohol,
yeah,
you wouldn't have like soda, whatever. But she's like, I also, it's not, and you wouldn't have dairy.
yeah,
But also, it's fine to have all of those things and just be mindful that they
yeah.
are going to have an impact.
That's right. Yeah.
Um, I
Which is
also,
already the way that you approach all of that stuff. Is
yeah,
that like you maybe not specific to your throat, but you're an aware person and you know what things do. Yeah.
I will say I'm drinking more water
That's
now
good.
at her encouragement. She's asking me about it. I see her twice a week. But I'm having two of these a day,
Okay. Nice.
sometimes two and a half. So yeah, it's nice. It's
I love that.
one of the things keeping me alive for sure.
Yeah. Um, okay, what's keeping you alive? You already said a little bit about voice therapy, but
My voice therapy, also my therapy it was very good this week. We hadn't seen each other in a few weeks. And
I
so
I love that you're saying that like it's surprising. This is you see your therapist every 3 weeks at this point. That is simply the situation.
Ugh. But it was great. She's really
Yeah.
great. I'm very grateful for her. I was telling my wife, I really like having a therapy dynamic where she'll offer something and
Hmm.
I'm able to be like, nope, that's not it. That doesn't ring true
Yeah.
for me. Or even like I was noticing, I was talking to my wife about something, and she was saying what felt helpful to her in therapy was having her therapist say, that's so normal that you would feel that way, or you don't have to feel
Mm,
badly for feeling that. Like
interesting.
you're just like validation.
Right, right, right.
And I was like, that's so funny because when my therapist says, I don't want you to beat yourself up about feeling blah, 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 or you don't have to be, you get to feel, etc. I straight up said, like, I feel irritated actually by that. I feel impatient.
Right, right,
I'm kind of like,
right, right,
I know, let's move on. Like, this is not, which is
right.
its own information,
Yeah,
by the way.
exactly. But
But
that's yeah,
I do like being able to have a rapport with someone where I'm able to kind of just be like, no, that's not it.
yeah,
And I'm not gonna like try to dance around it or be like, yeah, maybe like that. Nope,
yeah.
that's not the thing. The thing is over here. So all of my therapies and everything, but I also have something I'm gonna send it to you right now in a text, and then we can include it here,
Okay,
perhaps.
okay,
Um, but it's two videos. They're
okay.
short. And um, this is another thing that is currently keeping me alive. These are videos from this morning.
Okay.
And I mentioned, just to tee it up, I mentioned the bird feeders that I have
Yes.
outside of my windows, and my, new desk space has the view of the bird feeders.
Yes.
And I have had some new visitors coming to these bird feeders, and they've
Oh.
come every day. And
Oh. Oh, just
it's so you'll see in a moment, 19, but
oh.
there's a male and a female cardinal. And my hope is that they are building a nest in the trees behind our building. And I have video footage of each of them eating. The male cardinal has been focused more on the peanuts and getting the peanuts out of the shells, and the female cardinal has been focused more on the sunflower seeds. Um, but they just bring me so much joy. I also think when I get my cardinal tattoo, I want a female cardinal in color. I
I
think
love
that's
that.
what I've decided on.
I love that.
So yeah, just the birds, nature. I'm now getting very into trees, by the way. Have I talked to you about this?
Not a ton. You mentioned it a while back that you wanted to get into tree identification.
Well, if you're in New York City, I would encourage you to Google NYC tree map.
Yes. Oh, I almost did a project with them. Yeah.
Love. Yeah, it's a very helpful resource because I'll often, I'd find myself walking around and seeing a tree and being like, I wonder what type of tree this is. And I don't remember. It might have been our friend Richard, hi Richard, who introduced me to it. It also might not have been, but it seems
Right.
likely that it was him that originally shared this with me. But I'm on it multiple times every day. Also, because I'm on
Yeah.
a mission to figure out what the trees are in the backyard. Those are not
Yes.
listed on the NYC tree map, but I can
Gotcha.
kind of be like, oh, that's this tree is what that one looks like. So I figured out we have one green ash, but then the other two, I don't fully know what they are. So anyway, nature, nature. Also, the
So,
cherry blossoms are at peak bloom at the Brooklyn Botanic Garden, and I'm going right after this to go see.
I mean, that's so yesterday I got to see lilac, which is my
Uh,
favorite because we had a lilac bush growing up and it's very quick. Lilacs are only they're not like a flower that stays in bloom or anything like that. So
yep,
literally it blooms for like a week or two is all you've got. But the smell is so ridiculous. The view is beautiful. The bees are so happy. It's just incredible. And there's a really big, gorgeous lilac bush in Douglas Park, which is a like short little bike ride away. I used to live right by Douglas Park and walked in it every day. And yesterday I biked through it and it was just stunning. I wanted to say that for our New York 19 people, um, we missed it because it was 2025, but every 10 years, the Parks Department has a tree count where
yes,
they recruit volunteers to count all the trees in the city. So keep an eye on that. They did post it that they counted this year or in 2025 45,268 trees with over 2,500 volunteers, and it was 427 parks surveyed. So
wow,
I think like for our tree loving folks, like pay attention to the parks. I mean, even in any place you live, things like this happen. So like Chicago park system has so many cool things going on with tree stuff. Beyond planting, there are plantings going on, but there's beyond that happening. Um, and yeah, just like even if you live in a rural small place, like look for the nearest parks and things like that and find stuff like that going on. Forest preserves have a lot of cool things going on. If you're into
yeah,
trees, which we should all be into trees,
we really should, shouldn't we?
even
We
just
really
lightly.
should.
Quickly, what's keeping me alive is my new water filter.
Yes, yes.
I'm literally
Shout
obsessed with
out.
it. I got it through Culligan, and
Oh my
but it's
God,
a
Culligan. I
zero.
haven't thought about
Yeah,
Culligan in such a long time.
it's a zero water filter, which zero water is its own brand, but they work with Culligan, who makes the actual vessel. And so it's a giant 40 cup glass thing because I'm getting paranoid about plastic because just everyone's dying of cancer all the time. And I'm like, I don't really, I know I'm not going to fix it. And I just drink this out of a plastic thing. So whatever. And I've joked before that I'm fully just plastic on the inside at this point. But the areas that I can control, and I'm trying to also, Chicago's water is specifically on the south side, which I am barely a part of, is not good. There's a lot of lead in the water here, and like there's lead testing to get done. By the way, if you do live in Chicago, get your shit tested for lead. There are
Mm.
organizations for that. Um, but yeah, so big fan of a good water filter here. And literally, I did the little test before, and there was like 140 parts per million of dissolved particles, which is includes metals and whatever else in my water, tap water, just straight from the tap. I did the filter, literally zero when I tested it,
That's wild.
and it literally tastes different. Hmm. Hmm.
Wow.
So, but it's just like big and pretty, and for whatever reason, I've been like pretty pouty, bratty, sad sacky for the last several weeks, and when that water filter, when I got came home and that was sitting on the porch, I was like, it's here. It's
Oh my
here.
God. Like Christmas.
It truly was incredible. Oh my God. I
Uh,
love it. I love
I
it.
love I love an object that makes like a mundane daily wellness practice feel fun and exciting.
Dude.
Love a new vessel for water. Love something that
Yes.
like takes something up to another level, solves a problem that
Yes,
like yeah, I really love that. And it is a pretty item. Like it's a
it is.
nice looking object
That
as
was
well.
part of it too, is like I want glass and I want it to look like nice. I also want it to be large enough that I'm because the thing with zero water filters, they're great. They truly are incredible. I highly recommend them. Zero water, hit us up for sponsorship. But
Yes.
they're pretty slow dripping, so you want to not have to refill it literally all the time.
Yeah.
Um, so this one is large enough that I'll top it off every day, but it won't
Yeah.
be like, well, now I have to wait for like 10 minutes before I can get a glass of water. It's like,
Yeah.
which was my last. I had a zero water filter before that was smaller, and it was just, I drink a lot of water. Um, yeah, my water situation's pretty awesome because my water kettle is also the best one that I think you can get, in my opinion, because it's also glass and metal. And it has the settings for all types of tea. Um, and yeah, I have to shout out Michael and Brian. They gave me my first zero water filter. They gave me that water kettle, and they gave me my water carbonator. So like
Wow.
my water situation really came from them.
Your friends love you when they want you to be well hydrated with minimal nasties in your water.
Truly.
It's true love.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but to that end, I'm gonna have to go pee soon because I have to drink a lot of my good healthy water. And so
So with that,
anyway,
stay hydrated
stay
and more
hydrated out
soon.
there. More soon.